Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another ship that's more for role-playing, but it does put the new blocks from the DLC pack to very good use, because this is the Plato-class Mobile Laboratory, which is this lovely thing that I'm currently standing on top of. So this is an exploration ship that's designed to go out and about through space or on the planet to find specimens, to find different things to shove into your laboratory containers, and well, do your experiments on to see what happens. For a quick little look on the inside to actually showcase the blocks and how they've been used, so putting the camera all the way through into this section. Now this is the part which really caught my eye. So this is a brand new laboratory door, but on this side what we've got is the half window, which is this one right here. So the half window on its side make the door, the laboratory door, be a central piece rather than being on the side. Of course, the side of the half window being on the side of that bed, it just works incredibly well, and it's really well done, although I'm not too sure what that room actually is. It could be for your crew members to, well, live their life in while exploring, doing your experiments, or it could be where you're storing or keeping locked in unsuspecting victims before you go and shove them into the tank right there, and well, do your experiments. Yes, we'll come out to that in just a moment. So I'm going to go like this, press F10, find its spawn menu, then we'll go from there. So the Plato-class Mobile Laboratory is 335 large blocks using pretty much all the DLC packs. My god, look at this list here. That has grown quite a lot. Yes, up to here it says it's designed to function seamlessly in both zero-gravity space and atmospheric planetary conditions. The Plato-class serves as a mobile lab for advanced research and experimentation. Outfitted with a massive atmospheric thruster, stocked research containers, and a pressurized interior with all the needed amenities, it is capable of exploring hostile environments from deep space anomalies to toxic planetary surfaces. Yes, down to here we've got its PCU, its block count, then all the way down to the bottom, we then got some thanks to a bunch of different people, myself included. But anyway, we're going to give this thing a thumbs up, move around towards the very front, have a brief look around the outside, then we'll go have a proper look at the interior on foot to see what other goodies it has installed, as well as how to utilise the new blocks. So my character could just stay up there for the moment, because he could just drop down later on. But this is what we get for the very front of the Plato-class Mobile Laboratory. So around the very middle, what we've got is a double door airlock, go inside, then some steps come all the way down with some railings right next to it. The railings be made out of some unfinished armoured panels, which is a bloody good idea to actually create railings for these stairs. Anyway, on the left and right hand side, we've got ion thrusters, which is one of two types of thrusters that appear on the ship, with the others being atmospheric thrusters. We then got a massive floodlight to light up the general area in front of us. Then up there we've got connected to the dock to sing up, and then down below we've got a piston head for some decoration. To actually see outside while we're flying this thing around, it's going to be all the way up here through this window. We've got ourselves our flight seat to actually fly around and control a few bits and pieces about this ship. Anyway, down across onto the side, and yes, if you are interested in the Skybox, it will be linked in the description below. You'll never guess its name. It's called YetAnotherRedCloudSkybox. Yes, it will be linked to that if you are interested. That creates some funky effects on planets, makes it quite ominous at night. But no, onto the side of this thing, here we go. So we've got a gyroscope, we've got some lovely blue and white steel blocks that just break up all the grey. Onto this section, we need to appear inside that little bit where we saw those sliding doors and the half windows. Onto this side section is the start of our atmospheric thrusters, our flat atmospheric thrusters, and that just comes all the way along towards the back there. But we do have an arrow on the side of it pointing towards the front of the ship. And of course, we can see another standard atmospheric thruster keep us off the ground. Moving all the way along, we've got some more flat atmospheric thrusters. There's another ion thruster for your left and right. And there's a little window block sitting on the side of another ion thruster, which we'll see in just a moment as we come around towards the very back here. And here we are. So we've got 4 ion thrusters. We've then got 2 flat atmospheric thrusters to boost us forwards. And then moving all the way up and looking down, putting on my lights, and there we are. So yes, at the back here, we've got a giant atmospheric thruster, giant flat atmospheric thruster, with some armor panels adding as a small little spoiler type thing. We've got some hand skin on the back there, onto the middle, and across on these sides. Then moving all the way across here, there's an antenna dish, but then a truss block that comes all the way across, just curved all the way up and around. And up there, there's a connector to dock something up to this. There's some windows here down is the main interior. Across to here, here's where I'm standing on top of a half catwalk on some pipe blocks. Over there's an air vent so I can auction from the surrounding areas, just to refill up your tanks. Onto this section, here's where we can peer down into the main interior, and of course where we're going to be driving this thing around from. Towards the front there we have another bit of hazard skin, and there's the steps to the inside. All the way down underneath it, here we are. It's got a magnetic plate to land yourself down on. We've got some more fantastic use of the half catwalks. Across here, there's a warning sign saying you're about to be crushed by this thing. Then onto this section, more hazard skin, more atmospheric thrusters, more ion thrusters. There's a giant atmospheric thruster. And then just above here, just below it, we've got some windows appear outside for the main section, which could be at the very rear of the ship, which is like a small mini engineering bay, which features your gravity generator, and while this cargo container, we can see right here. So this could be a very easy way to get stuff in and out of the ship if I need to go all the way on the inside. Yes, that's about it for the back of the ship. As well as for the outside of this thing. So as per usual from the SSI series, this thing is bloody fantastic, has all been set up, especially with all the details gone into this, all the brand new blocks over the years, all the DLC blocks over the years, been put to very good use on this ship. But now it's time to have a look around the inside, so grab and hold my character, dropping all the way down to here. So down we come, onto these steps, and here we are. So we're now going to walk up, over this doorway, double door for an airlock, and then here we are on the inside. So looking to my right, here's that room we saw earlier with the middle door, clicking that, and there we are. It's a very nice thing to walk inside. Got two little beds, little table, and here's a little kitchen counter and a place to wash up your dishes. Onto this section. Now this is a very odd thing because it's not a cargo container. No, this is a warfare battery. The little access panel is simply covering up the green lights on here. So when you're asleep in the bed, well, hopefully you will get blinded by the lights. Though we are looking the wrong direction, but there is that. And we're closing that up, looking around here, and there we are. Now walk outside, close up the door. I do absolutely love this section, how it's been done. Such a clever idea with the half window there. But no, looking on this side, here we are. We've got steps to go up to our little flight seat. On this side, there's your medical cabinet to store all your stuff inside. But of course, we can only interact with it to open it up. Can't actually do anything with this block. There is that. Over here's your lab table with your high-powered microscope to see exactly what's going on with your blood extracted from your victims, or well, stuff that you discovered. And of course, looking over here, here's your traditional lab table from all those years ago. And over here, here's an actual proper desk for you to store all your stuff in that little cabinet. And of course, this is all vials of all different coloured liquids. Walking across to this section, here's your big old tank with all the bubbles rising up. In this section, we see part of your little pipe blocks just for a bit of decorative flair. Then round on this section, into here, here's your cryopods. Round on this part, which should be partially covered up by a covered wall. Then you got your shower, you got your toilets, and there is that. Anyway, opening up this doorway, into here, here's your gravity generator. Here's the window that we just saw next to that big flat atmospheric thruster. Then here's your cargo container, which we also talked about when we're on the outside. So dropping that in, and there we are. Back through here. Oop, almost got crushed by that door. And that's it for the inside. So all we've got to do now is come up these steps. Up we go. Turning around. Nothing much going on here. But getting into the seat. And here we are with the controls. So we don't actually have too much going on here. We've only got one tab to go through unless it's sneaky one number 9. No, there is not. So we've got number 1 for our floodlight at the front there to turn it on and off. Then you've got number 5 and number 6 for your ion thrusters, and then atmospheric thrusters, turn them on and off depending on where you are and what you need. And then number 9 is for your radar dish on top to turn it on and off. So for bringing up the signals, nothing's going to display, turning it on, and there we are, we can always find this ship. But yes, as for that, that is all the controls. We've got no guns on here. So you are a sitting duck and will need to be escorted by a small fighter or a much larger ship on your adventure through hostile territories. But no, we're going to fly this thing around and see how it handles. So with the ion thrusters moving forwards, here we go. We've got some very respectable speed, but we don't have to be too fast at the end of the day. We're not going to be scooting away from dangers. We're not going to be, well, dogfighting with any kind of fast-moving ships. We're just going to be cruising along towards our next destination, pick up our next experiment. Coming to us though, we are fairly slow there, so we've got to be a bit careful while charging along towards your base. But we can always do 180, make it stop a little bit quicker. Moving left. And then moving right, we are quite slow with that. Moving down, a little bit better than left and right. Moving up. Feels a lot faster than everything else. Might even be a bit faster moving forwards. Yes, it is. So there is that. And of course, for gyroscope controls, moving around. And well, it's basically what you expect from a non-fighter. We've got a nice bit of meat over this, so it is going to drag around just a little bit, but it's got plenty of control over it. So if you do need to maneuver around for whatever reason, you'll be able to do it. So yes, just moving this to the left, letting go. Follow through a fair bit, but again, it's not too bad at the end of the day. But now what we're going to do is take it down to a planet, try that one more time to see how it changes for the thruster distribution. And so here we are on the Earth-like planet, surrounded by lovely snowy mountains. But anyway, moving forwards, here we go. And it feels just about the same as moving forwards in space. Come to a stop is again about the same. Moving left. And moving right. Moving down, it's going to be faster than everything else, including in space. Then coming to a stop and moving up. That's a little bit risky, that stopping time, but still, if you're playing carefully, you should be perfectly fine. But no, if you are close to the ground and you are moving down, you'll very easily slam into it. But no, moving up. There we go. Yes, it feels perfectly balanced on the planet and in space, simply moving downward close to the ground you gotta be careful of. But as for that, that's pretty much it for the ship. All it has to offer, inside and out. It's a bloody fantastic looking ship. I absolutely love the interior, especially with that sliding door that has been, combined with the half window to make that centralised door. But no, I just highly recommend downloading it, checking out yourself, because it is a bloody fantastic design, as per usual, for this ship series. But to finish this off, what we're going to do now is just slam it straight down into the ground, into this lovely ice patch, and that'll be that for this video. So here we go, about to hit it, and there we go, a nice big explosion. I thought for a second that I was actually going to stay in the seat, but no, coming up here, all the way around, what is remaining of the poor little ship? And, well, there is not quite much remaining. We can still salvage this thing. We could probably make a new little ship out of this thing, considering how many thrusters have survived. But most of the stuff on the inside, most of the important stuff, all your scientific stuff is all gone. And, well, that's a nice way to end this video. But anyway, like I said, that's it for this video. There'll be a link to a description below. Do what you download and play around yourself. Highly recommend you do. I'll be back with another video somewhere soon. Bye bye.